Go ahead.
What is up? It's your boy Rad Bingham, aka Rad's Fault, over there. No,
Hide it with the
over
mic.
There. See, I did. I saved my ass on that one. Over there is Mr. Wolf Craze. What's been going on, Mr. Wolf?
Hey, you know, the old daily grind, work, no play, more work.
It's always fun that way. I know we've been missing out on some tech talk here lately. Everyone's schedules are getting screwed up. Tournaments are starting to go again, full steam. Just got to get better on our schedules, boys. Just a little, a little quick reminder. 9 p.m. is the sweet spot if you can make that happen. But I know we've missed out on some stuff. We've talked about an Apple conference and totally didn't even go over what they talked about and how much we love it or hate it. And we got some Quest stuff to talk about, some HTC stuff to talk about. We were even going to talk about some PlayStation stuff and maybe Discord.
Oh yeah.
So where you want to start? I think we're going to start on some Apple stuff, right?
Yeah, let's get to the Apple stuff.
Get this out of the way.
this is going to be a rad heavy discussion. My stance on Apple is pretty clear. I appreciate what they do. I don't appreciate the price. But
so on the first lineup of pictures, I pulled out, like, on this conference, they just briefly went over this on the conference, but it was Apple AirTags. This is going to be, if you guys know anything about AirTags or this style of technology, you'll know that this is actually heavily already out there right now. There's a dozen different brands you can go with. Tile is probably, I would say, the leader in everything. I myself am a Tile owner. AirTags is supposed to basically replace everything. I don't think it's ready to replace everything yet, but as far as the technology, if you have the latest iPhone, I do know you have to have, I believe, iPhone, I think 10, 11, or 12. So it has to be a pretty new iPhone for this technology to work right. But you'll see, like, on the left side of the picture, basically you're trying to find something, and then all of a sudden on the right side of the picture, it'll literally pinpoint within a few millimeters of where your device is, and by directions tell you right, left, straight ahead, how many feet you're away, and then when you get closer, it'll start to ring. But let's just say that you left your phone at your favorite strip club, right? And you left for the night. Anybody who owns an iPhone, as soon as you report, hey man, I'm missing my phone, anybody with an iPhone already has the technology built into their phones, and then all of a sudden you have this huge network of connectivity. And so it'll basically use this guy's iPhone to tell you where your device is that's right next to him, basically. It's really cool shit. I was actually very surprised with Apple. Apple usually comes out with, like, oh, it's only $3,000, you know? This time it wasn't so bad. And I think it might be because it's just an oversaturated market. They have to find a way into it, want people to buy this, and not feel like they're getting totally screwed over. So each AirTag is $29, and you can get a 4-pack for $99. And on top of that, there is no subscription.
Oh wow, that's
Tile,
definitely good.
With Tile, I paid $30 a year. Now I will say, just imagine if you're already running late, you can't find your damn truck keys or whatever, and what would you pay to be able to find those keys just magically right now, or instead of having to run even further late and having to spend the time to try to find some keys that you have no idea could be anywhere.
I can almost guarantee that I would pay less for a product to help me find those keys than it would cost to replace them. Because nowadays, keys it requires fobs and recalibration and all that other shit. So I would think it would cost less for that subscription than it would to actually replace the keys.
Well, and if you know anything about Tile has, like, multiple different kinds of tiles, right? I bought, like, this little all-around kit. Basically, I've got a Tile on my iPad. I have a Tile that's inside of my wallet. It's the size of a credit card. Now, Apple doesn't have anything like this. If you'll go over to the next slide, as far as, like, how to cover this thing and how you're going to protect it, they've come out with these little devices, right? It's like little keychains.
They're kind of cute. Come in a variety of colors, lengths.
Yeah,
probably
it's
flavors.
The same material. It's like the silicone material from an Apple Watch. It's the same material. So it's like a urethane, I would say, stretchy, soft material.
Relatively durable, I would say.
Yeah, it's going to be durable. And the prices range. I mean, it can go from $20 for, I think, the silicone to like I don't know, the leather one, I think costs like $30 unless you get their Hermes package. And this is where Apple does what they do. And they say there's a whole nother class of Apple people, and this is for them. This is the devices and the things for them, not for us people.
The everyday Joe.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like, you'd be out of your mind to pay the money that they're asking for one. In fact, I think that the next photo is of that tag, a Hermes tag with the price tag in it. Yep, $449.
Fucking Christ, dude.
For a fucking keychain.
Just so you can find your goddamn phone.
Exactly. How retarded could that be? Now you can you strap it inside of your bag, or I don't know, man. $449. It seems like a very Apple-ish thing to do.
Let me say this, okay? So I'm not very clumsy, but occasionally I misplace things, especially now since I go from house to house to provide therapeutic services. I tend to leave things behind, but I know where they are. Like I just kind of lose my senses a little bit, but never at my house have I really lost anything to the point where I'm like, wow, I'm screwed. I have to go out and buy it again. But my wife is a little bit. She's forgetful at times, and she got one of those. It looked like one of those tile things, but it was one of those whistle things. Funny thing is, she can't whistle, so like it's kind of pointless. But that was far cheaper. I think it was like $15, and within a small radius. Obviously, if you whistle, you're going to hear it go beep, 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 beep. And it's like $15 for something like that if you can whistle. But $500 for this? I mean, granted, this technology allows you to find it from a huge distance, right? For the most part.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, as far as the AirTag, that's a $30 device, and you're talking about $449 little keychain to hold it, just to hold it.
It's as much as a phone.
Yeah, how much is a PlayStation 5? Like, just the digital
that
version.
Price.
$399 for a digital version. You could buy a PlayStation 5 cheaper than a keychain from Apple. So I just wanted to make that
hear that
point
out loud.
I'm just saying, man, like,
that is.
AirTags are great. I think it's really great. Look, I own a bunch of Apple devices. I get a little chub when Apple has a conference, but AirTags, I'm not ready to make the jump yet. I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't want to pay $30 a year for Tile, but I can't put one of these things in my wallet, and but I will say this, that Tile has multiple products, right? They have built-in stuff, just goes right on your keychain. I actually had to pay extra, so I would have the option to change the battery. Tile actually sells tiles super cheap, but when the battery goes dead, you just throw them away and you go buy a new one. So I had to pay extra because I didn't want to just keep throwing it away. I'll just buy a battery for it. Apple did give that option. So there is just a normal little battery, usually same size battery that goes inside of a key fob inside of your car. So I don't know, folks. You get 4 of them for $100. It's not bad. If you've got a newer iPhone, I could definitely see where if you have certain devices, bag, purse, wallet. I don't know about wallet yet. Keys, obviously.
Yeah. For our listening our listening audience. I don't know why I couldn't think of audience. Our listening audience, if you can't see the image here, it says AirTag Hermes luggage tag starting from $449. That's $449. Okay. Not only is it an Apple product, but they're making it a luxury item. Labeling it as a luggage tag. Now, I don't know how much traveling people do, but luggage can be freaking expensive. So labeling it luggage tag, I think, boosts that price even more. So you got Apple luggage it sounds premium. You're going to pay a hefty price. But $449 for something...
some douchebag is going to buy it too.
You fucking know it, dude. Like, just to say that they have it too. I mean, how often are people going to use this? What is the market for these things? How often are people losing their shit? Their physical shit, not their mental shit. How often are people losing their stuff that they're going to need this? Like, is it really relevant? Is it required on the market? I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't see a lot of people losing their stuff too often. I think it's quite a small percentage. And is it worth Is it worth investing the money into this? Is it worth it for Apple?
I don't think it's very much for Apple. In fact, Apple's not really the inventor of things. They just like to perfect it. So as far as the technology that's in it compared to Tile, I have had to use my Tile. I've lost my iPad before, left it at a job site, got all the way home, like 3 hours away. Shit, where's my iPad? And I pull out my app for my Tile. And it took a minute or two, but I knew exactly where it was immediately. Made a phone call, told him exactly where it was too. So it saved my ass. But it's $30 a year for Tile. Nothing for Apple. I paid probably about $50 for the 3 tiles that I have. $100 for 4 of them. I don't know. But my phone, I think I got an iPhone 8. So I don't even think my phone is new enough for the AirTags. And this is I got this phone a year ago. Mm. So it's again Apple's marketing of, oh, you want the new thing, hey, just buy a new one. And even when I bought my kid an Apple Watch Series 3 for Christmas, super cheap. If she breaks the thing, I don't give a damn. It's an Apple Watch 3. It's $100 at Walmart on Black Friday. That's why she got it. I tried to give her my old phone, just saying she got to have a phone for an Apple Watch to work. It's kind of a gimmicky thing, but. Mm-hmm. I hooked her up with an old iPhone 6, and we went to hook everything up, and the iPhone won't work. Started reading the details, and iPhone 6S is when everything started with that. So it's just, I swear it's just Apple's way of just continuing the process of you're going to have to buy more shit from us if you want your shit to keep working the same and working nice and fast and together.
And this is one of my concerns. So there's two things I just thought of while you were sharing that information. Is because what you were sharing, I thought of it. Well, one thing being, boy, it would sure suck if you lose this. There's no coming back from that. What if you lose your tag? Well, there's no finding that. And two, with Apple's history of slowing down software to kind of force consumer hands, are they going to do something similar with this and make this outdated? Because that is going to be a $500 purchase that's not going to be valuable in the next couple of years. I know that they got caught doing that, and they had to fess up to it. But
yeah,
is that really going to save them in the end? I don't know. It's another one of those gimmicks where it's overpriced for a luxury item that not really everyone needs. Phones everyone needs, so I get why those are pretty hefty. And what you're getting with the phone products is greater access to the entire Apple network. Mm-hmm. So I get that. But a fucking tag? I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know. I'm not one of those people. We got Frankie and Titch here in chat. Frankie's saying it'll help Titch find his dildos, which is fine. I mean, it will save Jen the headache of searching for them for him. But even they're saying in chat this is way overpriced. It's way too much. It makes absolutely no sense to have it valued that high, and the only reason it is because it's got the Apple name on it.
Yeah, Frankie says that he's going to put a tag on his beeper.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, hey, man, I lost my beeper at Six Flags one time. I wish I would have had an Apple Air tag to tell me where my beeper was.
There's a problem if you guys are still running beepers.
I'm guessing you're a janitor.
Where are my keys?
You go to the next pick. We're actually going to cross over this really quick because we're going to treat it just like the Apple conference did. They talked about iPad Pro for a matter of minutes, and then they jumped over to the next thing. My prediction on this is that they are going to do some more hands-on stuff on the June 7th conference. That's the one where I'm still also predicting they're going to show off some AR glasses or VR glasses or both. But June the 6th is that next conference. But they upgraded the iPad Pro to have the new M1 processor chip inside of it. That's also the same chip that they're putting inside of the new iMacs that we're about to talk about. Okay. All of the MacBook Pros have a M1 chip inside of it. Apple is very proud of their M1 chip. The only thing that makes me super nervous about an M1 chip is I guarantee by next year. In fact, I already know they are about to announce an M2 chip, which, what do you want to bet that runs faster?
As you say that, Titch says it right there in chat.
Yep, M2 chip coming soon. That will be announced June. You watch. And he is right. He's dead on about it. There's a lot of talk that there's going to be some technology they're going to announce in June with that M2 chip, or at least talk about the M2 chip. But it is already in the works. You got the M1. You're like the badass MFer on the street right now for about another 6 months. And then all of a sudden you got your shit's all old. So that's always my problem with Apple is how long, if I buy this device and I'm going to spend this kind of money on it, how long is it really going to last? Because it never breaks. It always just has software issues after it gets slowed down. It won't. They keep coming up with new software for these new chips that go twice as fast as an M1, but I'm still not going as fast as an M1. But they're like, oh, you can still upgrade it. And it's exactly what Titch will say. They were doing these upgrades to your hardware to say that it was saving on battery life, knowing that it was slowing down your device, get aggravated, and next thing you know, you want the newest, most expensive thing on the market.
But this is almost to be expected, though, in the tech world, is it not? I mean, technology grows so rapidly. We're going to see variations of products coming out at 3, 4 to half a dozen in a single year. I mean,
it is.
If you look at Samsung, I mean, they put out how many phones in 1 year, and same with Apple, they did the same thing. And they have not just a single phone. Like I have an S series, but there's also the Note series for Samsung, and then you have Apple with its variety of different series. So I mean, the options are great, but look at all the different varying technologies that are out there within a year's time. They're putting they have the M1 chip, right? They're going to probably be announcing the M2 chip, and by the end of the year we could have an M3. Who knows? I'm not really too savvy in that particular area, but I'm also not surprised that the technology is growing so fast that if you get something in January, it's going to be near obsolete by December.
I'm always hesitant to buy an Apple device. Always hesitant. And I have a shitload of Apple. I'd like literally straight up run on Apple stuff. iPad Pro for work, iPhone for work. I'm running this show right now on a MacBook Air. I have an Apple Watch. I mean, everything's Apple. My kids have an Apple phones and iPads. We're Apple family. It's just easy, and we have lots of control. We don't have to learn new shit. We like it. It works. But I'm always weary of it because I'm always questioning how long is this good deal that I'm getting going to be good. But I don't question at all. I'm one of the first people to get a PlayStation 5. I didn't question that at all. When's PlayStation 6 coming out? Are they even talking about that? Like they probably are. I'm sure they're working on it.
Have to be.
When are you expecting it? Like 5, 6, 7 years? Average console 7 years, right? Now I think they're trying to bring it down to 5 years because of Xbox and the way that they push. That's why I don't hesitate with Sony PlayStation. I just know I've got the latest, the greatest, and it's going to stay that way for a while. So it's a damn good investment. Technology is a horrible thing to invest on.
Absolutely.
It's so good the day you buy it but it's like buying a car. You literally lose money when you drive it off the lot. As soon as you take it out of the box, you lost money. And you may not ever get it back unless you get something really special or you hold on to it for a really, really long time, But who knows, but
it's always a gamble, man. That's the challenge with technology. But you guys are in a place where you're all invested into this ecosystem, and getting out of that ecosystem is more daunting than staying in the ecosystem.
Exactly.
And that's what I found. Like, so many people that I work with, so many people that I'm associated with are Apple users. They love their Macs, they love their Apple phones. And I keep saying that was your first mistake, because once you're wrapped up in it, you can't get out of it. I've tried Mac. I never owned a Mac product, but I did borrow a couple of Mac products and to kind of test run it. I can't fucking figure it out. And I'm not going to change everything that I have already in hopes that it will do me better, because it's going to take me longer to adapt to that than with something that I've already been invested in for so many years. So like, you guys are in a situation where you're already invested. Why get out of it? And if it's working for you, stick with it.
Well, talking about investment, moving on to the next photo. All right. So anybody who knows me knows I've actually been in the market for a computer. I'm going to buy a new computer. And I was damn sure, no matter what anybody had told me, what Titch or Chuckamus Prime is saying to me, they keep saying, you just need to build a computer. Don't waste your money on a Mac. But again, my whole setup is Mac. I don't know how to really work on computers if anything goes wrong. And every computer I've ever had that wasn't Mac had viruses on it, probably from all the porn I watch.
Hey. Yeah.
So
I go to these secure sites or get subscriptions.
I knew that the iMac has not been updated in like 10 years, right? Same iMac, different internals every single time. So we all knew, if you follow Apple, we all knew that there was an upgrade coming, a new design. And this is what they came out with. Now, if you check out the back of this is basically a picture of all the back of the Macs right there. Really solid, bold colors. Of course, in the color of a rainbow. Tim Cook would not have it any other way. But I'm looking at these colors and I'm like, oh man, I kind of like that dark blue. It's pretty sharp, man. It's like that PlayStation blue. Hell yeah. You go to the next picture, please. And it's nice and thin, right? It's nice and thin. I'm a little
11.5 millimeters. That's pretty thin, dude.
It's like an iPad. It's like a giant iPad with a keyboard. I mean, and it's running computer shit. I was like, all right, that's cool. On the old iMac, you had the jack for headphones or whatever that was on the bottom side. They had to move it to the side instead of it going straight in, because the jack on a headphone port is actually 14 millimeters long.
Yep. And
it would go straight through if they wouldn't have changed that. So it just gives you an idea of how thin this is.
Could you imagine punching a hole right out the back?
Shitty motherfuckers. Well, I got my receipt. And then they did this. As soon as you turn this thing around, it goes from being like this dark metallic color to all of a sudden this chick's computer, or some shit that you would have on Easter. It's horrible. It's like a two-tone, but they didn't stick. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, man. And I automatically, as soon as I saw the colors, I went over this over and over and over again. And I just said, there's no way I'm putting that on my desk. There's just no way. I mean,
there's a couple things that there are a couple things I was thinking about. First of all, the colors, cute. All right, everyone's doing colors nowadays. I'm very bland. Give me black or white, I'm good. Or navy blue. I'm okay with the navy blue. That's pretty hot. Yeah. But the back casing of the computer reminded me a lot of Dell. Dell really went in on all those variety of colors, had the Dell symbol right in the middle. It just looks exactly like that to me. Still very nice. But when you look at it from the front, like you said, the concerns, it looks very old, antiquitous even. Like, we're moving into an era of no bezels. And look at how thick the bezels are here. Granted, are those the speakers underneath? Most likely. But look at phones and phone speakers. I keep picking up my phone and showing it to the camera. But like, phone speakers, look how small those are, right? And some of the phone speakers, especially those from the Apple products, are incredible speakers. A couple of the clients that I work with have iPhones, and we watch videos on them sometimes, and it beats out some other phones that I've heard, mine included, and a couple of laptops that I've worked on. Like, the speaker quality is there. So if that big block underneath the monitor there is for speakers, it's a waste of space, and they should implement technology that they've implemented in the phones, because that looks old.
Yeah, unfortunately, Apple did release a picture of what it looks like inside opened up. It's very interesting. That is, they're calling that the chin, basically. So that solid piece of metal at the bottom of the screen there. Still, they basically made it look like an old school iMac without the Apple logo in the front. Everything in that chin is where all the internals are. That's where the speakers are. That's where the M1 processor chip is. But what's really, to me, what was a belly flop on this one is that on the back half of this one that we're looking at is like this dark purple. It's like this badass purple. And then you turn it around to this baby purple. I don't know. Barney.
Lavender.
Like Barney's girlfriend purple, you know? It's so fucking bad, and they're so proud about how thin that monitor is. But honest to God, man, if I've got a monitor right in front of me, I've got this wall right behind me, I'm not going to see the back of that monitor anymore. The most beautiful part of the monitor, I'm not going to see. And as far as the chin, I don't give a shit how thin it is. I mean, to me, it's move that chin to the back and have all those damn internals just hiding back there. I'm not going to see that shit, but I am going to see that little piece of metal at the bottom of that screen every day if it was on my desk. I just think it was a horrible idea to not go completely, at least screen to screen, tip to tip, and get rid of as much metal as they could and hide it in the back. But they just did not do that. As upset as I was about it, I do know that there's supposed to be the 27-inch. I believe that this is a 21-inch. There's going to be a 27-inch that's going to be released during the June conference, or announced during the June conference. That is rumored to have an M2 chip, but will more than likely just have an M1. There might be an option to upgrade it. God knows what that's going to cost. I know this one starts off at about, I think, $1,100, $1,200. It starts off that way. It's actually
base price,
nice. Very base price. And that is, even the one that they were showing off during the conference was not a base computer. So you're not going to get all the performance and all the things that it was doing. They do slow it down. They actually made a dumber M1 chip for a base model, and then the middle model jumps up to a standard M1 chip, which means like eight cores and 8 gigs of RAM. Basically, they've made the Mac dumbed down version into more of a 7 or 8 core with 7 gigs of RAM, if that makes any sense. It's kind of the way that it's worded out on the processor chip.
And I'm sure there are pitches so that it's cheaper for the consumer, because it sounds very much like what Facebook was doing with Oculus and the Qualcomm Snapdragon processors. They have these, like when they created the Quest, they had better Snapdragon processors, but they used the cheaper one to keep the costs down. Whereas the Quest 2, they actually got the more recent one, or close to the more recent one. But we're still able to keep the cost down. So the argument's kind of moot at this point. It sounds like what Apple's doing is the same thing, keeping the cost down. So you're going to get a dumbed down version of hardware.
Yeah, now, I'll tell you what's interesting is that the iPad Pro that we had just looked at, compared to the iMac dumbed down version, like the very standard model, they're actually about the same price, which is really wild. An iPad Pro will cost you the same as an iMac.
So then why would you go for the dumbed down version? Too many options. We as humans, we say we like options, but when there's too many, then we become overwhelmed and can't make a decision, and then we don't buy shit. Like, you just give us
exactly, and then you end up waiting for June's conference. and who knows from there. I'm happy that Apple's got their own processing chip, and I'm sure it's going to turn into something great. But as for me right now, first of all, buying number one of anything, including a processor chip, is just not in the cards for me right now. I bought an Apple Watch Zero, and I still get pissed off about it. So it's $400, and the watch literally lasted like between 6 and 8 months.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I just bought an Apple Watch again because I was so mad about it. But it took a Black Friday. I'm still a Series 3 $100 watch. I think I did buy a little upgraded watch, but still, I wasn't gonna give them go all out. And again, it's, there's an Apple Watch Series 6 out. It's gonna be a 7 gonna be released too. Who knows what that one's gonna do?
Man,
right.
oh man,
we got to get away from Apple. So moving on, I got to get this taste of vomit out of my mouth. Moving on, I just saw this clip. Thought we'd go over it really quick. I know Will's got a bunch of stuff. We're about to jump into his topics, but Oculus debuts its more customizable VR avatars. What's up, Karen? And Willie Teabagger and our boy Frankie One Shot.
Lenovo Legion, that's nice. I like Lenovo products.
Yeah, it's
Lenovo's
really good. Solid brand. I would for sure. Acer's really damn good.
Love Acer. Yeah.
Anyway, I just got kind of pretty, excited about this. If you own an Oculus, one of the fun things to do is to go into one of those apps where all of your friends can get together. You can kind of just throw stuff at each other, talk, wave, do stupid gay shit. Stuff that we used to do like before Firewall had that big update.
Yeah.
Very beginning, you had movement in these waiting rooms. So when you have to wait 10, 15 minutes for a team to come in, it wasn't that bad. You just, screwing off the whole time, laughing. So I just saw that Oculus is working on this. It's going to be more customizable. It's going to be better. Visuals might be better. So
if you guys are curious, this is live. There is an update. It's not substantial, but you can. I already created my avatar, and they say there are arguably a quintillion number of combinations you can make with the options. Now that may be a severe overshot.
Yeah, it sounds like Apple marketing.
Right. There are many more customizable options than there were previously, and you don't have the full body to customize. You just have from the waist up. So you can change the top, you can change the face, you can change the hair, you can change the skin tone. It is far better than what was previously there, and if you're all about immersive technology, this is a step in that direction. Is it still cartoony? Absolutely. But we also have to remember that new technology is coming out that is going to include facial capture. So when you do talk, your avatar will do the same thing. And this is going to make you look more real in a virtual space because it is also going to replicate your mouth movements and your eye movements in the potential future. I think this is what Oculus is doing. Like this, they're getting themselves set up because they are currently working on that technology, along with a couple other companies, so that they can make it more real. So people feel like they're talking to their friend and that their avatar isn't just sitting there moving their mouth up and down and not really at the tempo of or in pace of your actual mouth. Yeah, exactly. And the avatar we had before was a head with a V torso, no arms, and floating hands. That's what we had before. So now that we have a full body, even though you can technically only customize from the waist up, this is much further ahead than what we had previously. So good on them. I think it's cool. I already customized my character. I'm all about that shit. So yeah, it was fun.
I have not done it yet, unfortunately. I've actually been a little bit wiped out here lately. Got lots of work and then been on Chantix to quit smoking. And holy hell, it makes me so tired.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
That's tough.
3 weeks in. Actually, with Chantix, it's actually hasn't been too bad. Been kind of easy.
Hey, Chantix, sponsor.
This Tech Talk has been brought to you by Chantix. It takes your boners away.
But drink some Rays and you'll get it right back.
But but you'll have wet dreams, if you know what I mean. Crazy dreams, dude. Crazy damn dreams. I haven't gotten lucky with a sex dream yet, but
one of
you
these
always wish
days
for those.
it'll happen.
Yeah. I think the last time I've had a good one was when I was like a little boy.
Oh my god!
I woke up wet and sticky. Anyway,
I hit puberty.
moving on to the next subject. So yay, we get a whole body in Oculus now. What was our next subject?
Okay, so as we stated before, there's a lot that we need to catch up on, and let me just get the window here because
I think we had like the Quest Pro to talk about.
Yes, there are a few things. Since we're on Quest, we'll talk about Quest. Okay, so we were previously talking about, now everybody can see in our monitor the internet. That's what I have pulled up, but Rad, you can just see the screen, right?
Yeah.
So when there was whispers about an Oculus Quest 3 already being made, I was highly skeptical, and I think you were marginally skeptical yourself. Yeah. That it wasn't going to be a Quest 3. It could be, but it's unlikely that it would be. And I had argued that it was going to be the Oculus Quest Pro if there was going to be anything. Quest Pro, Quest 2 Pro. And this is pretty much confirmation right here. Facebook says no Oculus Quest Pro this year. Oculus Quest 2 should stick around for a long while. Okay, so they say this year, meaning there is one in production.
Yeah.
At what stage? Not entirely sure. But Andrew Bosworth, VP of Facebook's Reality Labs, which is solely the department solely focused on VR technology, has given some hints as to what's in store for Oculus hardware. In their QA, Bosworth suggested that while last year's Quest 2 will be sticking around for some time, the company is working on headsets with greater capabilities, which is to be expected. We were just talking about Apple products and phone products and computer products, how rapidly technology succeeds on previous generations. It happens so quick. You can have multiple generations in a year. People are also asking about Quest 3, which doesn't even exist yet, he says. And for everyone who is listening to us who is a reporter, there isn't a Quest 3. There's only a Quest 2. So there's confirmation right there. We were right on the point. There was no Quest 3. And it would make sense that they wouldn't push a Quest 3 so early in the Quest 2 lifespan. It was just silly to even contemplate that. But they did hint of a Quest 2 or a Quest Pro because they do have a lot of things in development, and obviously they are going to want to shrink the headset more, make it lighter, make it more comfortable, because we talked extensively about your original experience in purchasing the Quest 2 headset. If you guys didn't listen to that, it is in previous cast. I think it was episode 4, if I can remember correctly. And it was highly uncomfortable, so they need to do something to make it more user-friendly and user comfortable. So, oh, by the way, there's my laptop right there. I purchased it, and now it's advertised freaking everywhere. So this is good news. Intel Core i7. Okay. Beautiful laptop, man. It's so good. So yeah, the Oculus 2 is going to be in the market for a while. If you have purchased the Oculus 2, Quest 2, then you're fine. And that was the message that we sent all along. You got the Oculus Quest 2, you're good. Now, that being said, and it's brought up here, but I did also want to mention it in addition to this conversation. Resident Evil 4. I don't know if you're a fan or not. I don't know if anyone listening is a fan of the Resident Evil series. I like it for the simple fact that Resident Evil has done a fantastic job for the horror series. It's a staple along with Silent Hill. Like those two, when you hear horror video game, immediately you think Resident Evil. And Resident Evil 4 is renowned as probably the best in the series, bar none. I tried playing it. I died so many times. I said, fuck it. I'm not going to play it anymore. It was hard for me because I'm not an avid Resident Evil player. But they are bringing, ever since Resident Evil 7 came to PSVR, people have been fiending for more Resident Evil in VR. In fact, with Village on the horizon, everyone's, when's the VR port? When is it going to happen? Because we need another Resident Evil in VR.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Facebook says we are bringing you Resident Evil 4 on the Quest 2 exclusively.
Ooh.
And this is what I was concerned about, is with Quest 2 being the new hardware, us original Quest users are going to miss out on certain opportunities because now things are going to be exclusive to the new hardware, which I get. All right. I'm a little bit sour because I don't want to spend another $300, $500 on another piece of hardware when my hardware works fine. But Resident Evil...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one of these days. Probably when the Pro comes out. I think I'm going to wait for the Pro. But Resident Evil 4 is going to come out exclusively on the Quest 2 because they want it to be as close to the flat screen version as possible. And to do that, they need the technology in the Quest 2. It cannot be downgraded enough to satisfy people on the original Quest. Sad day for us original Quest owners. But it's good news seeing that more AAA developers are getting involved with the VR world. This being a huge step. Resident Evil being a large IP, especially in the flat screen gaming industry. Capcom stepping right in. I don't know if Capcom's developing this, but they had to have given approval, if you know what I'm saying. So with Capcom now stepping into VR, this is good news. So I'm going to leave that at that. That's the news I have for the Quest. I don't think there's anything else on here.
Very exciting. Well, I wonder though. I know this is not planned on talking, but I'm still saying PSVR 2 is going to come out next year. If
I'm waiting more towards that now.
Yep, and there's not going to be a Pro this year, which means there probably will be a Pro next year. That's going to be a competition. I mean, PSVR 2, if it comes to fruition, but PSVR 2 versus Quest 2 Pro.
It's going to be heated. It's going to be heated. I don't know, man. If
Ooh, I'm gonna be so broke.
Can we get some more money from the government, please?
When you're done with those shoes, can my kids have those?
Hey, you done with that cigarette? It's the filter, man. I don't care. I need it. For PSVR 2 to succeed, they are gonna have to come out with good titles. And at present, there are currently not a lot of very strong titles that are going to be coming out. Now, there are some titles that have been announced for the PSVR 2, like After the Fall, which is coming from Vertigo Games, who created Arizona Sunshine. That's highly anticipated. I think there's a couple other games, but they're not really hyped that much because they don't have a release date yet, and that's what I'm concerned about. Is if you're really going to be amping up PSVR 2 and for it to succeed, you got to have those titles that are going to draw people in. At present, they don't have that. Oculus Quest, they're making moves, man. They've got Resident Evil 4 under their belt. They have now, which I'm a little skeptical about, and I've read some reviews, but they have this new cable-free way of streaming your games from the PC, so you wouldn't have to use virtual desktop. But still, many people prefer virtual desktop because of the quality and clarity that they're getting from virtual desktop. So don't shy away from virtual desktop just yet. Oculus still has some work on software end to really make their version of virtual desktop as good or better than that. So hold off on it, but they're still making that move to do that, which is exciting. And they now have, and I'm forgetting the name of it, so I apologize. It's what is it? Something arcade, where I think it's something arcade, where you no longer have to use SideQuest because SideQuest is actually there. They've pretty much absorbed SideQuest so that now you can download games that are they're not gold. In other words, they haven't been approved by the Oculus store to actually gain access to the store, but you can still sideload them in. And so Oculus has created their own version of SideQuest and also absorbed SideQuest. And you can do it all from your phone, and you can do it right in your headset. So they're making moves. If PlayStation is going to do well, they got to have those solid IPs at launch.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I still say that there's games that are coming out for PS5 that I've looked at them, and I swear it looks like a VR game. And that's why I keep getting like maybe some ideas of, is this game going to be like a backwards compatible game where we're going to be able to play it on our PlayStation 5 anytime we want with a DualShock controller, flat screen TV, or we can just throw on the PSVR 2 and go really deep into it. Mm-hmm. But I'm still going back to, if you guys go back to the prior episodes where we talked about the PSVR 2, we got into when it was actually announced that there was going to be one and they showed off the controllers. We got into a really deep discussion about this, and I had said my worry for Sony is that if, you know, it's great if they come out with a new headset. It's great if they're going to try to go up against Oculus, which that's what it is now, is they're going up against Oculus. It's not the other way around. Oculus has a majority of the market now. They're the leaders. So Sony has to catch up. And my point is if the technology is not there, like, I mean, you really need to have some advanced technology. Asking people literally to put side by side a PSVR 2 where you have to run off of a console and apparently it's still tethered, compared to, say, an Oculus Quest Pro that's not tethered, does wireless streaming to your computer. It's computer savvy. I mean, it's almost treated like an Android device where it's open source, open market. And Sony's actually being treated more like an Apple thing and enclosed in their own environment, dealing with their own folks. So I don't know. To me, I worry. I'm with you. I kind of worry about Sony in that situation. They've got to have some killer games. And I mean, Firewall's 2 years old. You know, I mean, it's not getting any younger. So we rely on these newer games like Alvo to keep us going until that new hardware comes out. But I'm just saying, man, if Sony wants to keep this thing rolling, it better be an amazing headset.
Yeah, really. If you look at the library that PSVR currently has, the IPs that are considered more full-fledged games like Iron Man, like Blood and Truth, you know, those two titles specifically, they are full story games, right? Like they feel like a full title. Right. But they still aren't the length of some of our flat screen competitors, where like flat screen games you can get, like, I'll be honest, like I've spent over 200 hours in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now I don't expect to do that in VR, but I could still do that with No Man's Sky and Skyrim. But those are ports. There's really nothing that has been created specifically for the PSVR that is of that substantial volume. We just don't have it yet, and I expect PSVR 2 to have that. If they don't, they're gonna run into a slump. I'm not concerned, but at the same time, I'm cautious. They have to have those titles. I hope they have them right now. I hope they're being worked on. At launch, we got to have at least, I'm gonna say right now, we got to have at least 10 titles.
Well, hopefully they've gotten their vaccines and they can get their shit together. That way, at least they've got a chance. Hell, even like processing chips are going to be. That's why PlayStation's hard to get a hold of now. It's just everything's just jacked up. Even Apple's even saying that if you want to get any of the new iPad Pro or even the iMac, there's a chance you might have to wait just because of the processor chip. That's with a lot of companies right now.
And speaking of that, real quick note on that, I also read a couple articles reporting on the same thing, that Sony is looking to change small bits of its hardware structure on the PlayStation 5 so that they can actually produce more units because of the concern around the shortage around material.
Ooh.
Yeah, that worries me a lot. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because I don't think there's been Sony confirmation on that. Okay, they are taking that from a statement. I can't remember exactly by who, but they're taking that from a statement made by a Sony exec. I want to say kind of out of context, but not really. It's like marginally out of context. It's more like, hey, we've been talking about alternative ways of getting the products out to the consumers, and we've been looking at hardware, blah, blah, blah. All right. So that was taken as, oh, they're looking to change bits of the hardware to get more units out. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not conclusive yet, and there's no guarantee that they're going to do that because Sony designs their consoles specifically to be optimized for what their plans are in the future. And if they change the hardware, it's going to make all the consoles inconsistent. So I doubt they're going to do that.
It's going to make the value of my PS5, like very first edition, very valuable. Exactly.
Yep.
That just bought me a
good
very
investment.
rare PlayStation. Moving on to the next subject. Cat, is that where we're going?
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's go to it. Okay. So there's a couple things here. We were just talking about Quest and its new avatars and immersiveness. No, I'm not going to send you a message. Get out of here. Everybody's looking to find greater immersion, and we all know about the cat treadmill. Cat treadmill was a larger stand where you're strapped in and you had special shoes that you would walk on a very slippery floor, and you'd actually move in the virtual space that way. Well, they condensed it so that now consumers can have it in their homes and you can put it in a corner. Granted, it's still large, but if you're a dedicated VR user, it's now, you can now have that in your home and have a much greater experience. We looked at other competitors who are getting in the field, Deca being one of them, and now Deca, Move, and Cat are in a bit of competition here, and I would say arguably more so because of Vive, HTC Vive, who have put out their own, and they're actually shrinking their units of these sensors that you attach to your wrists and you attach to your ankles. And this is supposed to, in real time, track your movements, which allows you to move in a virtual space. So everything that you do in real life is going to be in the virtual space as well. We're looking at the Cat Loco S, which the base price $254 for 3 sensors, the router, and you should be good to go. But I think this is just for the ankles and the waist. This does not include the wrists. So if you want to upgrade that, also it comes with the carpet, but if you want to upgrade that, it would cost you more. Obviously, the more sensors, the more in real time movement you get. Deca Move, you can see it hasn't quite come out yet, but there are review copies that they have sent out to many YouTube influencers, and the YouTube influencers have raved about Deca Move and how cheap it is in comparison to the competitors, which we just saw Cat was $254.
Right.
And the reason why these are cheaper is because the shell is actually 3D printed, and although the latency is a little bit larger than, let's say, the HTC Vive or the Cat Loco, it's mere milliseconds. Okay, yes, you will notice it, but I think it was only, oh god, it was such a small gap between what the higher end models are getting in terms of input latency compared to the Deca Move, which this would actually be cheaper, I believe. Let's actually just hit the order now and see.
I thought it was like $60 for each. I might be wrong. Yeah.
So when this
59.
campaign ends by May 19th, Deca Move will be available for $69 US with estimated delivery of January 2022. $69 or $254. Just saying. This is
Well, is that $69 for each, and you would have to buy 3 of them, maybe, and then it would be $180 or 100 and whatever?
I believe there was a caveat see, there's the last batch. Let's see. So order for $111. You get Duo Move, 2 Decamove sets. So you get 2 standalone editions, 2 extended range USB dongles, 2 USB-HC charging cables. So yeah, you get 2 for $111. Okay. Let's say you double that. So you get 4. That's $222, arguably. Still cheaper than the $254 with still 3 cheaper. Sensors and a router. Okay.
This one looks more legit too. Just I'm sorry, but this one, the website, the way that there's video going around it, it looks legit.
And look at this. For $502, you can get 10 Deca moves. 10. Think
that's
about how much.
Deca.
That's a lot of Deca. See, Tyrell, Thrill Seeker, MRTV, Voodoo. I don't know if you guys know these names. Atom Bomb Body. She's great. She's really cool. I didn't know that she got a kit. That's really sweet. If you're in the VR world, you know Tyrell, you know Thrill Seeker and MR. I'm not a huge fan of MRTV, but he's in there too, and a lot of people like him. But they're raving about it. They really like it. I value Thrill Seeker's opinion, very objective, and he tries a lot of things. Fantastic reviewer, and if he's saying he loves it, then I'm pretty much all in. But $502, you get 10. Think about how many sensors that is on your body. You got them on your ankles, you got them on your knees, you got them on your elbows, you got them on your wrists, you got them on your hips. Like,
haptic suit at that point,
right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, you basically have a haptic suit without the suit for $500.
I mean, look, and if you, man, let's see if we can zoom in here.
It's not really a haptic. I don't think the Decas give you actually like haptic feedback, but just to be able to track your.
I want to see if they can see this on there. Yeah, you can kind of see it with the Deca Move. Like you can literally grab your sword because it's tracking your hand movements, it's tracking your arm movements. Without it, you have to press the buttons. You see the finger positions. Like everybody knows, if you're using the controllers, you get all these weird finger positions, right? Because of the buttons. With Deca Move, it's full tracking of your hands, your arm movements, your legs. I mean, you can see there's a difference here.
I wonder, are there like special games, or is this just with every game you'll notice an improvement?
So no, that's the caveat, and that's the same with bHaptics and Woover. Developers have to allow this technology to exist in their games, so they have to put it in the software algorithms. Mm-hmm. I know that they already have a list of titles. I'm sure it's on here, but I'm not going to spend time to go look for it. If you guys want, go to deca.net and check it out yourself. I encourage you to do so. Look at this, 4,223 units already ordered. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So go check it out. But I am pretty certain Boneworks is going to be in there. I'm pretty certain Onward's going to be in there, Pavlov, and a couple other big name titles. They're going to incorporate this. I am almost 100% certain on those titles alone. And I'm pretty certain the same with Cat.
$60, you can't go wrong. I mean, if you just bought the $60 kit
with the 2,
screw it. I'm going to try it. I'm just going to try it. If it works out well, I'll buy another one, or I'll buy 2 more. But I mean, $60. I mean, the game that you were talking to me about earlier tonight cost you $70, So
yep.
And that's a game.
Yep.
It might be worth a shot. I mean,
it's at least worth looking into and investing in, especially because this is coming from, what do they say? I'm probably going to be slightly wrong, off by like maybe 1 or 2 people, but I'm pretty certain this was developed by 3, maybe 4 people. This product alone, and they're college students, or at least recently graduated from college. So support these guys. You want cheaper products, you gotta support. You gotta support these developers. And 3D printing is not a bad thing. Does it look nearly as polished as, let's say, the PS5 controller or some of the things that we have? Maybe not, but I have this PS Aim stock right here, and this was 3D printed, and this doesn't look bad at all. So
yeah,
I wouldn't look sideways at 3D printed stuff. Not anymore. Maybe a year or so ago, maybe, but today, not now. I wouldn't look sideways at it.
Not bad for a startup company, college students. 4,223 already on order. 14 days to go until the price goes up. It's going to be $59 now. 14 days, it's actually going to jump up to $69. That's $249,000 in sales so far for 3 to 4 college students.
I mean, look at that. And it literally just clips. It clips onto your belt. That's it. It's just got a clip. It's so easy to use. You press the button.
It looks clean. I like the way it looks too. It looks really nice.
It's beautiful. Available on a platform level. Most Steam VR games are supported. Oh, view verified game list. We're here. Look at this. Arizona Sunshine, Blade and Sorcery, Borderlands. Look at all these titles that already support it. Let's look up here. Here's Quest Link. All right, if you have Quest Link or Quest Virtual Desktop or Rift S, look at these titles, man. Population 1, can you imagine? Skyrim. Like, oh my gosh. Look at that list. Of course, Grapple Tournament's brand new. I can understand that not being in there, but Jesus, dude.
Still nothing for an Oculus Quest though, right?
No, not yet. Just the Quest Link. It's strictly PC stuff right now. But if you have the Quest, you should have access to a Quest Link. But if you don't have the PC for it, well, then I wouldn't invest in it. But one of these days, it's going to come to the standalone product.
So I keep saying, if I end up buying a VR headset like that's going to be tethered and running off a PC, I better not buy a Mac. All right, moving on. We can keep going on and on about that.
Really good.
Next was AirLink.
Yes, HTC Vive Air. So there was rumor going around that HTC, and for those who know, they've had a bit of a rocky history as of late with some of their headsets that have come out, like the Cosmos. There was rumor that they were coming out with their standalone headset, and it was called the HTC Vive Air. It even won an award, and it's not even a real thing.
That's amazing.
Right? A little bit of a head scratcher. So this was back in April. So it was April 20th, 2021. Okay. So very, very recent. Earlier today, the internet discovered, by the way, this is written by Jamie Feltham over at Upload VR. Earlier today, the internet discovered an awards listing for a new HTC Vive headset that hasn't actually been announced, the HTC Vive Air. Go down a little bit in a statement given to Upload VR. HTC confirmed that Vive Air isn't actually a real product. They say, it's exciting to see our concept piece, the Vive Air VR headset, win an IF Design Award. While this is only a concept, the design language has elements and inspirations you'll see elsewhere in our products. We're not ones to rest on our laurels, so although it's great to win this award, we have business to attend to. Hopefully we'll see you 11-12 May at ViveCon. So May 11th and 12th. So this product, which is a lofty concept and very similar to the Quest. So you can see the picture here. It's actually got I like the colors. I'm very big on like gray and neon green. I don't know why I like that combo, but I do. It looks fairly comfortable. It's got more of that halo strap type of thing going on there, but it's very reminiscent of the Quest, which makes sense because Oculus is leading in the standalone headset. But this is just concept. And for this to get an award for a concept design.
Good on the designer, man, for sure.
I guess so. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't know. Oculus needs competition. But I don't know if HTC is the company to do it.
Well, no, why do you say that?
So HTC came out with the Vive, and the Vive is great. Vive Pro is pretty good too. But then they came out with the Cosmos, and what I can say about Vive and its more recent technology is it's kind of falling under the benchmark parameters of tracking. They have been struggling with the keeping up with the technology, and more so with the controllers. Apparently the headsets, they're beautiful, like they work really well, there's no concerns with that, but it's the occlusion and the tracking where with you when you what you get with the Index, you get probably the best in the business right now. And then with Oculus you get very good technology as well, where the occlusion, you can bring the controllers pretty close to your face, almost touching, and still have good tracking. Whereas you can come in within half a foot with the Cosmos controllers, and your virtual hands start splitting off because the tracking kind of goes wonky. And it's the design of the controllers and the light system that they used. Now it's not the PlayStation light system, but it's the infrared light system that within the rings. Something about the spacing or the technology, it's just not working right. And anyone who played Half-Life Alyx with the Cosmos, they just showed the difference between that designs tracking capabilities and all the other tracking capabilities of all the other products out there, and it just fell so short. So the fact that they're looking for a standalone headset is I don't want to say it's concerning, but I don't think that they're going to be nearly as competitive as, let's say, Valve might be, or or maybe even Sony. Honestly, I'd like to see Sony make a standalone headset, but I don't know.
Well, here's my only thoughts about it. Vive has actually been around for a while, right? So you've got that. They are in competition with some of these other players out there. But in my opinion, I think that the advantage for Vive is that they have a winning formula. They know what the winning formula is because they've seen Oculus do it. So if they can basically get rid of the wire, come up with a processor that's going to be fast enough, tracking that's going to be good enough, and come out with a good design. I mean, they're getting awards over a design that's not even real. People must be getting excited about it. They want to try new things, and they always want to do something better. So if Vive even comes out slightly and says, look, we can get it within the price comparison of what the leader is out there, except we've got a few little things about ours that's actually a little bit better, and we're ahead of the game a little bit better, and we've already got the games established, and we can do all this and that, might be something. And it shows everybody else to do the same thing, follow in suit. Don't keep a wire hooked up to it. We want independence. We want to be able to go around. AR, VR, give it to me.
Question though is I don't know, man. It still stands in my head. Like, are they the right ones for it though? I mean, is this just excitement over potential competition?
I think so. I really do. I think that I think Facebook's got it made right now, and I personally think it's just because nobody really else has something as good as what they have. But I mean, how good is it really? It's still, and I don't want to knock Oculus at all. I love my Oculus, but it's still technically mobile software.
Yeah, it is.
It's still not running the fastest processing chip. It still has a heavy battery lugged into the front of it. You still have to buy a bunch of accessories to make it comfortable. So if anybody who can come out, and this is I think why PlayStation fans have so much potential with them, is because they made the headset right the first time, the first go at it. And everybody's trying to copy. Everybody who had a head start into it never even put two and two together. And PlayStation comes out with the most perfect fitting headset that is absolutely the bee's knees. They just didn't put enough tech into it. They didn't put enough oomph. But they made it work for people, because at that time, if you wanted to own a VR, you had to own a computer. And if you wanted to have that computer, it's going to cost you $2,000 to $3,000. That is very hefty if you really, really want to get into VR. So to have something more than likely that you already had in your living room, like a PlayStation 4, just like the oldest PlayStation 4, and it still worked with the newest VR that PlayStation came out, that it worked together. To me, it was super smart, but it did kind of put them behind the curve from day one. From day one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Sony's done good in their marketing for what they've done, but I do believe any company right now, and I still say more the merrier. If there is more competition out there, each of them fighting and scratching at each other on who's got the best tech, who's got the most comfortable headset, it only means I've got more selection. If I've got more money, then that means I can buy more, more headsets and compare. But most of us, man, I'm just saying, we've got the money for maybe one headset if we're lucky in that year, and we're going to try to make the best damn decision that we can. So any competition that wants to come to market and say, I'm going to take Oculus on, man, it's gonna open my eyes, and it's gonna make me start thinking maybe this might be the way to go, because it is the newest. They got some newer ideas, and they've had a chance to kind of copy what Oculus has done and perfect it, make it a little Apple thing on there. So I don't know, more the merrier. But I agree. I don't know if these are the cats who are gonna like be the next ones. Could, maybe. They got the money to do it. They could.
Much like many studios out there who develop for VR, I am very cautious and weary about them making anything. But hey, that's my opinion. If you guys have your own, please be sure to share it with us.
All right. Do we want to keep moving on with this, or do we want to hit up our last subject of the night?
We can hit up our last subject.
Okay, so last subject was about PlayStation. Stop me if I'm wrong on this, but PlayStation and Discord.
Oh yeah,
and the whole Microsoft thing. And you got to stop me when I go blank on this. But basically, you had Discord and Microsoft that were talking. Microsoft put in an offer of, hey, we want to buy Discord, and Discord basically stood up for the gamers and said absolutely not, and they did not sell out because they don't have to. And now they're actually working with PlayStation is going to try to make an app on our consoles so we have easier access to Discord.
Right. And what I think, I really need to confirm this, but I'm pretty certain Microsoft already grants their players access to Discord. Mm-hmm. And I think Sony is finally, I think for once Sony is looking at the competition for how dangerous they can be. We were talking about this prior to the cast starting, and I was saying that Microsoft is making all the right moves for its consumers. They are very consumer friendly. They don't have all the greatest titles right now, but they are making moves to change that. Look at all the studios that they're absorbing. They just took in my brother would kill me because I can't remember the father company name, but the father company that owns Bethesda and all Bethesda works, like all those now all those titles are coming to Microsoft, coming to Xbox, and people are going to have access to that where they didn't have access to it before, and they're absorbing these developers, which is going to grant them a larger variety in their library, and they've already made other applications accessible, including Discord. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty certain they already have access to it. Now Sony is looking into this and being like, okay, we need to be careful because they are now getting first party developers, and we will no longer be able to work directly with Bethesda on an IP because it's owned by Microsoft, whereas before they had all these titles. Now as far as I know, Bethesda is still going to work on the titles that they already promised were going to be on the Sony consoles, but any future titles beyond what was already contractually agreed upon won't be coming to Sony products, which sucks. So what is Sony going to do? They've absorbed a couple themselves, including Insomniac, which is great because they made Spider-Man. That's a fantastic title. They've absorbed so many different developers. But I'm sure they looked at Microsoft's attempt to purchase Discord, and they're like, well, we're getting rid of our communities because no one's using them. And now we have no community-based application on our product. We got nothing. There's no more communities. You got PlayStation Messenger, and that's about it. So what are we going to do? You got to go with the one thing that all gamers are using, which is Discord. You got to get the application on there. I think it's a little too late for them to really capitalize on this, but better late than never, I guess. I think what Discord did with Microsoft was very, very smart. And I had told you this prior to the cast as well. They knew that the formula they had was working. So why would they give up something that is so successful to another company where they would probably get a percentage, a very small percentage, rather than 100% of whatever they get from subscriptions, from boosts and stuff like that. They are there for the gamers. It is a gamers platform. It is, I mean, people can use it for other things, of course, art and stuff of that sort. They've kept it open, but for the majority of its user base, they are gamers. Let me give you a little comparison there. Twitch started out as a gamers platform. In fact, Twitch, from what I had recently learned, when it first was created, there was no just chatting. If you chatted for a specific duration of time, like let's say 15 minutes with no gameplay, you could get suspended. Like, it was really strict around its TOS and guidelines. You had to play. It was a video game platform. And look at it now. Here we are on AHC mocking the meta, which is hot tub streams. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, check out last night's cast. Yikes. It's Discord is like one of the last standing gamers platforms that is truly there for gamers, or truly there for the image, or for the direction that they wanted to go with their product. And not selling out to Microsoft is a good thing. Yeah. Now, if they were to sell out to anyone, I would think Microsoft would be the best bet because, like I said before, they are the most consumer friendly at this point. If you compare Nintendo to Sony, and compared to Nintendo and Sony, Xbox would be leading them in that. Nintendo is very non-consumer. Like, they shut down tournaments like Super Smash Bros. Tournaments because they don't want people streaming the game anymore. There was some issue with that. So like Nintendo is like very non-consumer, and then you got Sony, who isn't non-consumer, but they also really like their own network. They like their own ecosystem, very much like Apple. They kind of ride the same river. Microsoft is open and friendly, and we want everyone to play games. We want everyone to have access to everything. So we're going to try to create our ecosystem where you can access fucking everything you want. And we want Discord to be part of our family. And Discord was like, I appreciate what you're doing. People can already access us through you. You don't need to buy us.
Yeah. It is one of those things, like, we ought to mark this one down. It's going to be a respect for Discord if you understand the situation and what they had to say no to. Because there's, God knows what Microsoft offered them.
Dude, I can't imagine.
Come on, baby. Just what's it going to take to get you in this pink Cadillac today?
I'm telling you, it's more than six figures.
Yeah. But they stood strong, and I think that they did it for us, man. I really do. I am excited. Like I said, to me, it's either you're a Microsoft kid or you're a PlayStation kid. I'm a PlayStation kid. Mm-hmm. So even with a simple announcement of PlayStation's going to be working closer with Discord, they're going to work with a way to get an app onto my console, so we can do this even easier and more convenient than me having to work on an Apple device while I'm on a PlayStation device. I more the merrier, man. It's just all good news to me. I can't go wrong with it. But I am proud of Discord for what they did. Sometimes we can easily sell out.
It's easy to do that.
It's so easy to sell out. I sold out last week. Last week. Anyway, that's our show. We had a bunch of topics to go over. Went over a bunch of Apple shit that's coming up or came out. Another conference coming out June the 7th. Quest Pro we went over. We also went over the CAT sensors and the DECA sensors, the AirLink, and also the PlayStation Discord. Wolf, can you think of anything else, man?
That is a lot to digest. We went well over our normal time, but we were also gone for a little bit. We can't guarantee anything will be. We can't guarantee another tech talk in a week, but we are going to try with schedules now. A little bit unpredictable and seasons going on. We are going to be focusing more on the broadcast, but we have loved these tech talks and we're going to try to do them as much as possible. If you guys can't catch them live or you don't want to watch the VODs, it's okay. You can check us out on Spotify. I've noticed that we've got quite a few views on our small channel. So really appreciate those who are supporting us, especially across the world. We got people here in the US, in the UK, people over in France and Norway. It's really nice to see people around the world enjoying the content. So really appreciate that. Check us out on Spotify and other services. There's a variety of them, but I don't name them.
If TikTok is not your thing or you just can't get enough of me or Wolf, you can always come back on AHC, usually on the weekends, to watch our Pro Leagues or our All-American League for Firewall. Also, don't forget about Rocket League, usually on one host for that one. Rocket League is so intense, though. I highly suggest just watching it, even if you're not into it. Just watch it one time. It's really, really intense, man. I wasn't really into it before until the one time. Also, don't forget about Raise Energy Drink. If you hit the link below, you'll get a discount as long as you're here in the US. Raise, it'll give you energy, and it also gives us money. So you can't go wrong with that.
A liquid, what was I going to say? Liquid Blue Pill.
It's Liquid Blue Pill. Also, if you guys like the shirt that I'm wearing, like this one, Amateur Hour Commentary shirts and gear can be found on hccommentary.com. It helps the channel. It supports us. It keeps us going. Please help out. Be a great community. Show some love. Or just send me your money. It's just
There's that too.
It's just a rad bingo. I had a great time with everybody. I really missed everybody. Hopefully we do get to do this next week. If not, I'll see you in the Firewall fights. If not there, we'll be kicking the ball around with some cars on Rocket League. It's going to be so much fun. I hope you're there. Wolf, you want to sign us out? Love you people, by the way.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been Amateur Hour Commentary Tech Talk, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.